I was watching a podcast this week, and someone spoiled the end of Yellowstone for me.
Oh, I had that happen as well.
And
I was going to watch Yellowstone. Yeah.
have been waiting for the end of that show for years so that I could then go and watch it from beginning to end and inhale it.
Yeah.
And I was just watching a podcast, and they just mowed it down. And I was so pissed. I was so angry.
There was no spoilers?
There was no spoiler warning. It was a news podcast. And someone just said, Yellowstone such and such. And I was like, oh, I want to kill this person. I want to someone I respected. But it was a news podcast. It wasn't an entertainment podcast. And I was like, what do you guys think about spoiler policies? We talk about a show that is an archive television show. You know, you really can't ask people 20 years later to not announce spoilers in a forum or online.
Yeah.
But what are your thoughts about spoilers in general? About a show that has ended in 2 weeks ago. What are your thoughts on that?
I just think it's one of the biggest disappointments of the internet era. is having people spoil things, and you've literally got no choice in the matter.
It's why I jump on so fast. I'm so scared.
I don't. I tend to watch shows after they've been off air for a while, so I don't really have any excuse. But there's been a couple of shows that I've been dying
high-profile shows
to watch. Like for example, I'm pretty sure Sanditon was spoiled for me because of the lag between season 1 and season 2, and because I was so obsessed with it.
More like Stargate. I want to focus on Stargate spoilers in particular.
Stargate spoilers? Sure.
You watched the show when it aired, right?
I didn't know.
You both watched it after the fact?
Watched
Nicole
it on and
watched
off.
it as it aired.
Okay.
Yeah, some as it aired.
What were you guys about Stargate spoilers? Because I would steer clear of them. Completely clear. And
Evie, what did you have?
Well, I sort of started watching Stargate through Adam.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I really just jumped on board because he was so keen to rewatch it. He hadn't seen it since he was a kid.
Yeah, did you?
But
did you
he
put
didn't
the
know.
law down
he
with
was
him.
Very,
oh, okay.
No,
so
but
he
was
he
very
careful.
You.
Okay.
Yeah. He was very careful, and I don't think I searched for spoilers of my own online. I let the story unravel in its own time.
Mm-hmm.
It was only after the fact that I became obsessed with like Sam and Jack and just the show,
going to all the forums
and started sort of going into forums and things like that. Yeah, so I think I was okay, but yeah, I mean in general, I hate when things are spoiled, and I've got like no choice in the matter. It's really disappointing.
It was a big deal back in the day on Stargate to not spoil it.
Different experience. So
Yeah?
I didn't have access to all of Stargate even when it was airing. I was occasionally lucky to catch it live or like when it was airing for the first time, or DVD. When I was a kid, I didn't really have the whole spoiler thing because I was watching Stargate in the most obtuse way possible. I could not have been a more silly way to do it. And so I was like, okay, yeah, I'm just gonna watch it. I would actually sometimes, because I discovered the internet, I would actually look for the spoilers because I was like, I have no other way to consume this. I have no other way to gain access to Stargate. So I started looking up things, and that's how I found out.
Yeah, but that's you pursuing something. That's you choosing to spoil yourself.
That was a weird
You're not being spoiled.
No, but now as an adult, I avoid it like the plague if it's something I care about. It's a very weird relationship I have because I'll see a new show that I like want to watch, like Severance, because I just started that yesterday. And I'll see I saw a slight spoiler, but the spoiler was just enough to make me go, I'm steering clear of everything, and now I'm going to watch the whole show. So
you have to almost go on like a media blackout.
Right.
Yeah.
I was on Facebook a few years ago, and someone spoiled a show for me that had aired, I think, again, 2 weeks before, and I called them on it.
Too close.
And this was a Facebook friend. This was someone that I knew in real life, but had moved away, and so had become only friends over Facebook. And they literally told me, "Well, that's your problem. I can't police all of that."
Sorry,
and I think I stopped talking to her at that point. I was like, I could have accepted another response from you. It's like, oh, I'm sorry, or whatever. But when are you going to see it? But it was very much that's your problem, and it's like
a warning.
That's really
you do like that's really the whole spoiler space, and so it takes up the whole.
This person
page.
Probably didn't even know what the word spoiler was. They were so they're just a normie. And they're like, well, if you haven't watched it, how is that my fault? And I remember like, I don't think I ever spoke to that person again after that, because it was like, okay, you know what? Yes, it is my fault for not watching it when it aired, because I did have access to it and I chose it's not high enough priority for me. And I think that was their argument. If it's not high enough priority for you to watch it as soon as it's available to be consumed, why does everyone else have to tap dance around you? And that's one of the kind of arguments that I wanted to talk about with you guys, because that in itself is its own argument. Not her like response to me, well, that's too bad, but like, you know, if it's that important, go watch it. There's most of the Star Wars shows on Disney Plus. I've not seen yet. I've not seen most of them, and I'm a huge Star Wars fan. They're there. I'm just not crazy about the new era. So if someone spoils it, it's fine. It's not the end of the world. But when Yellowstone was spoiled, I was pissed, because that's
but that
big
only just
deal.
happened. I knew that spoiler because I had that spoiled for me on TikTok. Someone just threw I'm not going to say what it is.
The ranch itself.
Yeah, someone threw the big thing and the other big thing, the three big things that I know. Yeah. And so like
my folks love it. They said the ending was great, and I've been like, oh yay, you know. And then someone said Yellowstone such and such, and I'm like, I hate this person right now.
Yeah, no, I completely
it's disappointing.
Get it.
Yeah, it's disappointing when you kind of you stay away from a show until you are ready to watch it.
Yeah,
right, until you're ready to watch it.
Yeah, and it's just this era of people wanting information now. You know, like they want what they want and they want it right away. There's no waiting. There's no satisfaction in waiting anymore, which is it's just a very sad fact of our time.
Yeah. I'm going to throw this in before, like, you know, before we start anything else, simply that I've got a book coming out Tuesday and it's embargoed. I can't get it any earlier. However, it leaked.
Your book?
A book that I really want to read.
A book is coming
not
out.
me. A book is coming out.
Why are we hearing about this
Not
now?
me. Not me. Oh my God, no, I can't write. I got a book release coming out that's not my book, and I'm very excited about it. But they leaked early in the US, in Targets across the US.
Oh, so people have consumed it and are now talking about it.
Yeah, and people have done it in the UK as well, in a shop called Asda. I don't have an Asda near me, so I can't go get the book. So I have to actively now avoid the internet until Tuesday because people are spoiling the end of the book. And it's like, I waited like 2 years for this goddamn book, and you're doing this to me? Like, screw
That's the thing
you.
that I love about Twitter, where you can put in a term and it will block it for you.
Yeah,
there's a certain term that begins with T and ends with P on my Twitter that blocks all of those, because I don't like reading about politics. But yeah, it's interesting. Jacob Olihar said Death of Sharae. I think in German, Forever and a Day is actually called Sharae's Dead.
Yeah, I think it is. Yeah.
Dan Ben said Sci-Fi Channel spoiled Beckett Carson's return.
Yes, they sure did. You won't believe what happens. And then it shows the shot. Joseph Malazzi was upset about that for years, and he should have been.
Yeah, I bet.
And that was just one. The other one was the bomb isn't in the building. The bomb is the building. And
I love that one.
Season 9. I think that's Ex Deus Machina. So the networks do it themselves because they want the ratings. And the other one was Atlantis. It was
was it Beckett?
It was 511. It was the Lost Tribe. On their website, they posted the Vanir Asgard climbing out of the suit. And I went and saw it. I went and looked at it because they were like, "Come on the web." They used it as a draw to go on the website for spoilers. So
stupid.
Yep.
It makes me angry. Don't do that.
It's a tough subject.
You can entice your audience without spoiling everything. You know, you can allude to things.
Lockwatcher says, "What? Shari's dead."
Shari's dead.
Can't believe it.
Saw that. That's why
I will say, Carson, that was not spoiled to me. I actually watched Atlantis seasons 4 and 5 in order around the release time. So when Carson was around, when I saw him in the cell, I was like, what the hell? And that's like the one Stargate thing I 100% didn't have anything spoiled for me, and it was a treasure to have. Yeah.